Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Joy, how about you? You have any concerns on your part about going outside?
No. I do have concerns about going into situations where there are mobs of people, and I will not go there. I mean, I just had to turn down a family member's wedding because they're inviting 250 people.
So I want you to listen to what she says here. All right, guys? Don't mind my voice. Everything's cool. I just, for whatever reason, have the worst allergies ever. But I want you to listen to what Joy Bay says here. So she had to turn down a wedding, 250 people.
I can't do that. But on the other hand, I'm following the science, and I've been double vaxxed, and every doctor on television, on this show and others, tells you that if you get the double vaccine, you're pretty good with the variant, that you're not going to get it. And so what more do people have to hear? We'll never leave the house if we're going to continuously be afraid to go out.
So I'm giving up a wedding of a family member because there's 250 people, but I've got double vaccinated, and you got to listen to the science, of which the science says you're not going to catch anything. You guys, so this is what she said. Listen to the science. Science said you get double vaccinated, live your life. Chances of you getting this are slim to none, and even if you got it, it's going to be asymptomatic. You're going to be absolutely fine. So don't even worry about it. Chances of it happening, slim to none. Slim to none. Slim to none. Listen to the science. You just don't want to go to the wedding. Let's be real. You don't want to go to the wedding. Or you don't believe the science. One of the two. That's where we are. On a daily basis, that's where we are. Listen to the science. I'm going to wear 4 masks still. Listen to the science. I just thought that was funny. You got to live your life. Right? Life is coming back. Life is coming back slowly but surely in some areas. In other areas, life is booming. We got all kinds of stuff going. Like where I'm at, we're at nothing. Nothing at all. Seems to be, it's like we just, here in Arizona, snap right back to it. Going to sporting events, movies are wide. People are living their life. You wouldn't even have known we had a pandemic, minus a few places where you still see some people wearing a mask. Minus a few places. But listen to the science. This one's funny.
We were at a farmer's market this weekend, and Max and I had our masks off. And then I put mine on like this. And Max is like, why are you doing that? I was like, because I can't tell what other people are comfortable with. A lot of people still had masks on and masks off. So I do this halvesy thing when I'm in doubt. And I just walk around like, you good? Because like if someone has theirs all masked up, I adapt even outside for them if I'm in, talking with them. And so it's just that this unknown period is almost trickier than when we had real rules.
What the hell are you talking? Well, we were there at a farmer's market. Not a shocker. That it's a very white people thing. It's upper middle class white people go to farmers markets. The average person just goes to a swap meet. We're at a farmer's market, but I don't know what people are comfortable with. I don't want to make everybody else comfortable. And even though all of us are vaccinated and we're outdoors, I'm still going to wear a mask. Kinda. I'm going to put it around my chin. Because I know that's where you catch the coronavirus is around your chin. It's just so amazing. Well, I don't want people to think anything less of me. Trust me, they can't. It is, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say at this point in time. Welcome to the world of insanity. Welcome to the world of you know what, I'm going to wear it here, but I'm going to put it on. I'm going to carry it with me as a just in case because I don't want anybody else to feel like there is a situation where I can make them feel uncomfortable. And everybody, I don't know. I liked it when there was rules. I like it when people told me what to do. It's amazing that, like, people fall into such a weird kind of like, whatever you tell me to do, I will absolutely do it. Like whatever you tell, I'm going to do it. Even if the science says no. Even if the scientists say, yeah, you don't have to worry about that anymore. We're over that. We're over that. Oh, my Lord. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Life is coming back. Life looks a little bit different. Right? Life looks a lot a bit different. We got some inflation. People are heading back to the office, or better yet, not heading back to the office. We're expecting mass resignations this year.
So what else has transformed since February of 2020? The economy, which is barely recognizable from 16 months ago. This includes the leverage, yes, that American workers now hold.
Instead of workers competing with each other for jobs that are scarce, we want the companies to compete to attract workers.
Well, that is becoming reality. The Wall Street Journal reports that a tight labor market plus a shrinking labor force is, quote, giving low-wage workers perks previously reserved for white-collar employees, bonuses, bigger raises, and competing offers.
Yeah. Does it matter? No. Is people rushing out to get jobs? We're going to find out what the taking away the $300 a week federally will do to people who are not working, who are on unemployment, and if that spurs people going out and getting a job. I read an article yesterday. Wolfgang Puck says, I'm paying like $120,000 for a waiter, and I still can't get anybody to work. Paying $125,000 or $120,000 for a waiter? Yeah. Still can't get anybody to work. That's where we are. That's not enough. I need more. I need $250. I'm not getting off the couch for anything less than $250. You hear me, Wolfgang? Do you understand, Wolfgang? Not getting off the ground. This pandemic sped up where we were heading. It's a gig world and a gig economy. We're hiring people right now for a couple things that we're doing. And we wanted to bring a couple employees on, and everybody who talks was like, I don't really want to be an employee. I just want to do piecemeal stuff. I want to do, I got other things going on. I got a little side work here. I got a little side work there. I like doing that. And so many people are into that. And they also realize, too, if you're a good employee, hell, if you just show up, that's half the battle. But if you show up, opportunity is in front of you right now to name your wages, to name the things that you want. And the younger generation, it's not about the cash. It's not. It's about perks. But this just sped up where we were heading anyway. We're going in a different world and a different place. The beauty of the Western world that we live in. Let's just talk about it, right? Here's my Western chauvinism. We live in the best of times, in the best place of these times. The beauty of this is we have options we have never thought we would have in this modern time. Now I'm talking about 5-10 years from now. We have huge options. We can do things we've never done before, and people are taking advantage of it. But it's only a certain group. Yeah, it is only a certain group. But that certain group's pretty big.
And another big change, working from home is more possible than ever. Nearly a quarter of workers are likely to work at least a day or two from home each week, and also changing how we shop, daily necessities that are being bought online.
Online grocery sales grew 54% in 2020, or 7.4% of all grocery sales.
Yeah. Amazon Prime Day, second day of Amazon Prime Day. I bought stuff yesterday. I'll probably buy more stuff today because some of the deals are ridiculous. Amazon changed things. Working from home has become an option. We're trying to downsize our office space. Last week, they came up with the plan that they thought was solid for everybody. You're here. If you're a salesperson, 1 day a week you're in the office. 1 day a week you're here for a meeting. Like they have their one-on-one thing where they talk to the sales manager, go over stuff. The rest of the time, you can work out of your house or here. It's up to you. There's no more assigned desk. There's none of that stuff. It's filtering. This is the modern world that we live in. And it's awesome. This just sped everything up in a way that was, we thought was probably a few years out. They're trying to sublease everything in these places. Nobody wants an office anymore. Why should you? What are you going to do with it? Well, you're going to need an office. Some places will need an office, but you don't need a big office anymore. You have 100 people, you may only need 25 desks. People are going to come in and out. These things are huge. It's great. Yes, the pandemic sucked, but at the same time, we got through the worst of it, albeit in a politically awful year with the way that we fought with each other. But man, we have come through on the other side with a smile on our face and with opportunities that are huge. But Chad, there's a lot of people out there struggling. They're just not making enough money. You have the best time in your adult life to get a job and to name your price. Well, but I can only get this kind of job. That's a you thing, right? It doesn't matter what time of year it is. Doesn't matter what we've been through or not been through. For some people, let's be real. There is a limit to what they're going to be able to do. For other people who are go-getters, who work hard, you have the opportunity now to prosper. Strike while the iron's hot, because it won't be like this forever. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. Speaking of jobs, MyPillow. So MyPillow, one of the huge reasons I love it, the products are amazing. The MyPillow right now is $29.98. It's $40 saving. King size is $5 more. That's for the queen size premium MyPillow. And yes, I sleep better. And my head doesn't hurt. I get a night's sleep that I need. It's awesome. The thing I love about MyPillow, though, it's made right here in the USA. People are going to work every single day right here. That, to me, is incredible. By the way, it never goes flat. Withstands washing and drying. 10-year warranty, 6-day money-back guarantee, and it's the lowest price ever. All of their products are made here. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use promo code Benson, BENSON, or call 800-983-4975. While you're there, take advantage of all the stuff, the Giza Dream Sheets, the towels, the amazing mattress topper, the My Slippers, you name it, they've got it. Take advantage. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson, $29.98, $40 saving. Use that promo code or call 800-983-4975. Chad Benson Show.
To be free. I am not a terrorist. I am not Antifa. I am not a sex slave that wears masks.
Don't be a cutie pie.
Probably sit around and cook some soups and eat bread and desserts and just get all fat and sassy.
You're ruining my life, man!
Yeah, you haven't seen anything yet.
You're listening to The Chad Benson Show.
A study out of the United Kingdom finds coffee drinkers are 21% less likely to develop chronic liver disease, 20% less likely to develop fatty liver disease, and 49% less likely to die from chronic liver disease than non-coffee drinkers. The study says the kind of coffee, espresso, regular, or decaf, didn't matter, although ground has the maximum benefit. The data was collected from 2006 to 2010 with a follow-up. Authors caution that lifestyle choices also matter, and there's no absolute that coffee can protect against liver disease, but it might reduce the risk.
Wait a minute. Lifestyle choices matter? When did this become so? What do you mean lifestyle choices? You mean I can't just go out and drink until my liver falls out? At the end of the day, it's what it is. Isn't that always it? At the end of the day, lifestyle choices matter. It's like, yeah, I guess so, huh? Yeah, I don't care how much coffee you drink. If you drink hard liquor every night and you wake up and have a big cup of coffee in the morning, there's a chance that no matter how much coffee you drink, that liquor is going to be a smidge stronger. Just a smidge.
This study was based on observation, association, not cause and effect, although there are theories. And listen, for some people, coffee can absolutely cause jitteriness, insomnia. It can be a bad thing, but the overwhelming data and evidence support the health benefits, which is good news for me and for those people who are drinking any type of coffee.
What about, that's Dr. Jen Ashton, what about like tea? Because I drink a lot of iced tea. Do I get any benefits? That's kind of my thing. Like, do I get benefit? I don't drink coffee. I've never liked coffee. I tried it a little bit when I was younger. I just never, ever, ever liked it. It was never my thing. Now, I've had, I tried coffee ice cream, which is weird. Coffee ice cream, I find it to be odd. It's coffee ice cream. It tastes just like a black cup of coffee. So bizarre. I don't eat, you know me, if you listen to the show, if you guys are new to the show, God bless you, but I eat like a 7-year-old. And by that, I mean, I have like 4 food groups. I'll tell you what I had last night. Right, so, but tell you what I had. You guys ready for this? I had a hot dog, no bun, and macaroni and cheese. With a little bit of vanilla ice cream. My God, Chad, are you training for the Olympics? Fat Olympics? Yeah, that's what I had yesterday. That was like and I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. It's like, hey, Mom, can you cut the crust off? And part of that is because I've been around the world. I've lived all over, lived in Europe on and off for almost a decade plus. And I will tell you guys, I've tried a lot of stuff that was awful. So you get to a point where you're just like, look, I love change. I'm willing to try all kinds of crazy stuff. But when it comes to food, but I hear stuff like this, like coffee. It's like, it's never about like, where's my iced tea? Does that get thrown into that? Or even my hot tea, which I've had some today because you can hear my voice. And it's just allergies. We have horrific allergy season this year out here in Arizona. Plus, you toss in the fact that we have 70% of the wildfires in the country going on right now, right here. You come outside in some places, it's like your car's covered in ash. It's like a volcano went off. So my allergies are through the roof. Plus, I live out in the Valley of the Dirt People, and right now it's not dirt because they've planted. That doesn't help either. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Democrats made it abundantly clear that the real driving force behind S1 is a desire to rig the rules of American elections permanently in Democrats' favor. That's why the Senate will give this disastrous proposal no quarter.
Mitch McConnell right there. He's always fine. S1, bill addresses voter access, election integrity, security, campaign finance, and ethics for the 3 branches of government. Specifically, the bill expands voter registration, automatic same-day registration, voting access, vote by mail, early voting. It also limits removing voters from the voter rolls. So, that's a big thing right now. It is. And it's perfect, right? Some of these things are so perfect. So, this is one of those perfect things where you can divide the two. So if you're a Democrat, any movement towards quote unquote, hey, you know what? We've got to purge some of these things that we're doing here. Like we've got how many people? 500,000 people, depending on the state, 200,000 people. They return to sender. We keep sending them stuff and it comes back. Change of address, death, whatever it is. It's time to report. Oh, you can't do that because that disproportionately hurts black people. Why? Because black people, I'm trying to figure it out. It's because they move? That hurts them? Well, tell them to stop moving. They die? Everybody dies. It's always something. It's always something. Right now, this is a big thing. They're going to try to figure out how to come forward and battle this voter rights. Of course we should have voter rights. If you want to vote, you can vote. That's not true, Chad. It's not true. Okay, why is it not true? Explain to me why it's not true. Well, what about not getting an ID? If you don't have an ID, that's a you problem. That shouldn't be my fault, shouldn't be the state's fault, shouldn't be anybody else's fault, but your fault. Why can't you have an ID? You have to in most states. By the time you're 18, you have to have some sort of photo ID. Well, I only want to mail it in. And I'm fine with that. I don't think we should restrict mail-in. I think we should allow mail-in. I think we narrow the gap and make it easier for everybody to vote. I got no problems with that. There's a common sense opportunity here to have a real conversation about how do we secure our elections and make them more secure, and at the same time make it streamlined and simple where we know, hey, these things are secure. Everybody's registered, had to show an ID, all of those things, and we can go from there. It shouldn't be this hard. We make it hard because that's what we do.
Democrats view this as their best chance to try and counter those restrictive voting laws that we've seen being passed in Republican-led states across the country. But Republicans are united in their opposition. They argue that this is a federal power grab.
Yes, because the beauty of the states that we live in, right? The beauty of that is what? Each state gets to govern itself in such a way. And voter rights and voting is left to each state. Mitch McConnell says something here that is spot on.
Remember, the last presidential election saw the highest voter turnout in decades, even amid a once-in-a-century pandemic. And African-American turnout was twice as high in Mississippi as it was in Massachusetts.
Oh, well, there's something to that. There's absolutely something to that. But it's a great way to raise money, right? So you go out there and you say, look, they want to jerry-rig the system, so they're the ones who win all the time. You need to send me money. On the other side, it's easy to fearmonger.
What we are trying to do is preserve democracy. And what Republican legislatures and governors are doing in the most disgraceful way imaginable is to try to deny people of color, young people, poor people, the right to vote, people with disabilities. That is outrageous. You know, we can disagree on all kinds of issues, but taking away the right of people to participate in American democracy is unacceptable, and the Congress must address that in any and every way.
Okay, prove to me how people of color don't have a right to vote. Just prove to me. I would like to know, like where, well, the ID thing. Well, again, that's a you thing. If you're an adult and you don't have an ID, that's ridiculous. The young? Look, once you make it an app, they'll vote in mass. Until then, you're going to get what you get. It's a crapshoot with the young. Disabilities. Most places, if not all of them, if you have a true disability, you're able to vote by mail. In a lot of states, you're still able to vote by mail. You're using something that is a false argument. People of color, stop victimizing people of color. White people, in particular, guilty. Stop using them as a stepping stool to go out and to continue to hold on to power. Both sides do it. But the reality is, this disproportionately hurts people of color. Why? I'm curious as to why it hurts people of color. Massive turnout in the last election. I'm still trying to figure out how people of color weren't allowed to vote. And there's just no argument there. And the young, again, I go back to the young. The young, that's a them thing. I don't know how it disproportionately hurts the young. It hurts the young disproportionately. How? Because they're lazy. That's not my fault. You want to talk about lazy? Here's a perfect example of lazy. So we've got people that work for us. And here's a perfect example of the young. You know, we coders and stuff. And one of our buddies, Drew, who's big-time coder, like super nerd. They're talking to the coder yesterday, this young kid. He's like, hey, right now Google's like killing it, like dying for AI coders. Like big time. Willing to pay the kind of money that even in San Francisco you will live comfortably. That's how desperate they are for AI coders, right? That's how desperate. They're desperate. Do you know what he says? It's probably too hard. The math is probably too hard. What? Yeah, the math is probably too hard. So I don't know if I want to do it because I would like to, but I just think the math might be hard. That's it. That's the young in a nutshell. So if you have to drive a block to go vote, and the young are like, it's probably too far. It's probably too far to walk, and I don't know if I want to park. That's a them problem. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. So yesterday, something big happened in the NFL. Yeah, something did. A player came out gay. An active player, not like Michael Sam, who was like on practice squads, but really was an NFL-worthy player. He really wasn't, and I don't think football was his number one thing, and that happened several years ago. An actual player with a contract who plays in the NFL and plays at a high level came out gay.
What's up, people? I'm Carl Nassib. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important, and I'm really pumped to see what the future holds. That's all I have for you guys.
I tweeted out, don't care, can you play? There you go. That's the free market world. I don't care, can you play the game? Judging by your skills and what you got as a contract from the Raiders last year, you can play. And that's all that should matter. Now, for some, it's great. It's a barrier that's being broken. It's Pride Month. Here's a guy who's an active player. He's not a fringe player. He's not coming out after retired. He's gay. And people were asking me questions yesterday after this happened because obviously I played soccer in Europe. I played at a pretty high level. Were there gay players? So, yeah, there were gay players. Did you know of gay players? Yeah, totally. Was it, of course there is. Human beings, there were. And it's interesting, though, when I put out, like, can he play? Like, I don't care. I know a lot of people do. I wish more people maybe had my attitude in some ways, not the lack of empathy at times I have, but the attitude of I don't care what color you are, I don't care who you love, I don't care what you identify as. Can you do the job in front of you? That should be the only thing that matters. That should be the only thing that matters. Judging by his skill set, he did a pretty damn good job last year for the Raiders. And hopefully, like everything else, these kind of things will be less and less of a big deal moving forward. But it's interesting, the response I got from a lot of people yesterday. Well, he's sinning against God. And I'm like, settle down. First of all, you don't get to judge anybody else's morals. Secondly, I'm a follower of God. And I screw up all the time. I'm not going to judge anybody. But we like it. It's our pastime, right? It's our pastime. All that should matter is, can you do the gig? And the reason this is different is because the people that have come perform either retired and came out, or they came out, but they weren't good enough. But they weren't good enough. And this guy's playing. This guy is playing.
I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important. I actually hope that like one day videos like this and the whole coming out process are just not necessary. But until then, I'm going to do my best and do my part to cultivate a culture that's accepting, that's compassionate.
Yeah. We'll see. We will see if that happens. It's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the league, people say, well, is this going to be an issue in the locker room? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that he is going to be fine, and as long as he continues to prove that he can play in the NFL, he should be fine. That's the way that these things should go. You should be based on the meritocracy. What do you bring that is good? What do you bring that we need? That matters more than anything else. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show was your Twitter. And by the way, the first player of any note in any sport to truly come out gay was a guy by the name of Justin Fashanu, who was a soccer player. In fact, the first black footballer to command a £1 million transfer fee, which was insane back then. And he came out gay in the middle of his career. Everybody knew he was gay. And it was, that was a different time. But this is something here for us, and especially a sport like that we'll see. But I think it'll be just fine. I think our attitudes have changed as much as all that matters is, can you play the damn game? If you can, great. If you can't, well, then you'll be on your way. And that should be for anybody. Straight, gay, trans. Do your job. Period. Case closed. Let the free market and your abilities do the talking. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Raycon, best earbuds around. I love my Raycons. Wear my Raycons all the time. In fact, the other day I had my Raycons on, and I wasn't even playing anything. Right? Like, I was listening to something, and it was over. It was just nice. It was just quiet because they're so comfortable. You don't feel them in your ears, and it was just a nice, relaxing kind of like, It is incredible what these things do. So you have a 45-day happiness guarantee, better sound quality, better design. You've got a new soft gel tip insert that makes the noise isolating fit even better if that's possible. And the fit matters more than anything else. No stems, no wires. You have to worry about pushing them back in or the wires getting in your way. It's great. And the carrying case is a charger itself. So once you charge that thing up, you can get 4 full charges with your earbuds, and you don't have to worry about plugging the case back in. Get your Raycons now. They start well under $100. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. 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 Chad Benson Show.
Being antisocial sucks. Hang with Chad's friends on Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. And if you just need some alone time, head on over to Twitter at Chad Benson Show. Either way, we can't wait to meet the real you.
Life finds a way.
Check Netflix today and you won't find that many Steven Spielberg films, but that's about to change. The filmmaker's legendary Amblin production company has just struck a deal with the streaming giant to create what's said to be multiple feature films per year. Those will be in addition to the theatrical releases Amblin produces as part of its ongoing deal with Universal Studios. The partnership is one of the strongest signs to date of the continued ascendancy of streaming media in Hollywood.
Yeah. Now, how much? Remember, hell freezes over is what he said about working with the likes of Netflix and Hulu and those. Hell freezes over. It froze. Come on over and work with us. Okay. Come on over. Produce it. Work with us. Put your Amblin, Steven Spielberg touch on it. Don't know what he's getting. I'm sure it's a ton. So some of the stuff that's going to be on there, obviously, is because they've got the Green Book and they've got 1917 and all of these things. But you got Jurassic World Dominion. So that comes out next year. Stillwater's coming out soon with Matt Damon. It'll be at Cannes next month. But they're going to produce real stuff. And he said, no, never going to do it. One thing he has said, though, he has said this: no, when it comes to Jaws. He's not going to revisit it. He's not going to reboot it. No. Sucks. I think you can do a lot with Jaws right now. This is good. Although there's a movie called Great White that comes out in a week or two. It's an Australian movie. Looks good. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson shows your Twitter. It's nice to know that hell froze over. We need it here in Arizona because it's hot. Like me. I'm kidding. I'm mild to average. More like a medium sauce. Mild. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The people who are giving the ad hominems are saying, Fauci misled us. First he said no masks, then he said mask. Well, let me give you a flash. That's the way science works. You work with the data you have at the time. It is essential as a scientist that you evolve your opinion and your recommendations based on the data as it evolves.
Did you guys hear that? That's what you guys do. As the data evolves, of course, that's what happens. Here's the problem. How many times have we heard this over the last, forever? Settled science. Settled science. Settled science. Gotta listen to the science. If you don't listen to the science, you're a denier. Science changes. You look at the mask thing. At the end of the day, did it help in small numbers? Probably. Was it everything that it was supposed to be? No. Did they know that? Yes. Did we still continue to do things that science didn't even back, but they use science as a way to control? Yeah. See, oh my God, you should wear a mask when you're outdoors by yourself because you never know when it's going to come attack you. Those are the little things that were ridiculous, but those add up over time. Over time, they continued to add up. Fauci's pissed because people are like, yeah, dude, I think you were all over the place.
That is the nature of science. It is a self-correcting process. And that's the reason why I say people who then criticize me about that are actually criticizing science. It was not a change because I felt like flip-flopping. It was a change because the evidence changed. The data changed.
Yeah. And I got zero problems with that. He's upset because when it was Trump and him, he was the voice of reason, right? So Trump's there and Trump's doing what Trump does. Let's look into this. Can we do that? What's the new thing now that apparently Trump was going to send people to Gitmo who had this? Allegedly. I don't know if that's true or not. The Trump's an industry in itself. You just need like a third person description of something that took place in the White House with somebody who is a fringe holder on or somebody who was in the background, and you could write an entire book on that. My sources say he was going to send people to Gitmo. But when you're the dude and Trump is your foil, if you will, people kind of like you, right? Like the average. But now people even on the left are like, dude, you jacked the pooch on this one on more than a few occasions. And there are questions to be asked about what went on in Wuhan. How much did you really know? Because Whatever somebody says, oh, I didn't really know anything about it. 99 times out of 100, oh, they knew something was going on. They did. Dr. Macari.
Some people may be criticizing Dr. Fauci because they're anti-science, but not most of us. Most of us have been asking for a more data-driven strategy, and we used to have this open dialogue in the medical profession, but now it's turned into a sort of modern-day McCarthyism. He's ignored natural immunity. That was a big mistake, and still is. He dismissed the idea of maximizing the first dose. He didn't say anything when doctors were asking to pool the extra half dose, which would have increased our vaccine supply by 15%, the extra half dose in the vial.
Yeah. Again, in a world that we live in now, politics is important, and he is now a bureaucrat more than he is a scientist and a doctor. He's a talking head more than he is a scientist and a doctor. And because of that, talking points were much more important than a lot of other things. And this was it was an ever-changing thing. But he did ignore natural immunity. He absolutely did. Pretty much every scientist out there says you're never going to get to a point where you're just going to essentially, over a period of time that's manageable. Oh, yeah, I'm sure over a long time you could vaccinate this thing if you had a one and done kind of shot. Over a long, long period of time you could. But natural immunity was going to be a huge part in getting us back to where we are now, which is living our lives. And to that, no. The states that were hit the worst, well, the states where they're out there doing their thing because there was so many people that were hit by this, that may not be great. But the reality is no matter what states did, good, bad, or indifferent, they all kind of got hit the same.
There's been a lot of big mistakes, and I think as a doctor, I can tell you, patients appreciate it when I say, look, I'm sorry we made a mistake. People are hungry for honesty.
Yep. You know, when I was a broker, it was a big thing. People wanted to know you were there. Own up to your BS, own up to your mistake, and you can move on from there. You put somebody in a trade that you think is right, everything lines up, the stars, but the reality at the end of the day, the market's going to do what the market does, and sometimes no matter how good your data and your information is, it doesn't work out. So you got to own up, and if you're there, people appreciate that. Fauci was not used to what he didn't have this scrutiny with the AIDS virus in the 80s, in HIV. He didn't. There wasn't social media. There wasn't any of this stuff. He was beloved by the left for the first several months. So much of that was because the disdain for Trump. He was an easy person to get behind if you didn't like Trump. Dr. Birx was tougher, right? She seemed like like Fauci seems like that guy, you know, talks like this. How you guys doing? Very nice and stuff. Where Birx felt like she was a little bit more hoity-toity, a little bit more in the Trump mold, if you will. People didn't love her as much. They did him. But now that Trump's gone, the eyes are on you. People are asking questions because more and more is coming out because it's safer to talk about these things like Wuhan, the lab, did it escape? How much did you know? We saw some of your emails. Maybe some of these things weren't like what you said they were. All of a sudden, you're feeling like you're being attacked because you are. You're being criticized and you're being questioned and you don't like it. That foil is gone for you. Now, it's up to you. And I think it's time that somebody else takes this thing over. I think it's time that somebody else moves on and takes this thing over. I don't think Biden will do that. I think if we're honest with ourselves, I think every once in a while we can all use a new voice. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. I could use a new voice right now. What's wrong with your voice? I don't know. What I do know is it's hot. It's dusty. My allergies are kicking my butt. And The entire state seems to be on fire out here in Arizona. The entire state. We have 70% of the wildfires in America are happening here. A water shortage. It's hot. Normally this time of year, people say, well, isn't it always like that? No, I said, normally this time of year, we might have a day or two where it gets up there, but then it comes back down to like 105. And it stays like 105 to 110 through July into August. It starts to heat up. And then you have those really hot, August, September days. And then it starts to get back to 105s and down below come October. This is just nuts. And we're going to get back up there again this weekend. It's crazy. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Amazon Prime Day is still going on, by the way. If you're looking to get cheap, massive deals on things that you don't need or things that you do need, they got tons of deals, Prime deals. So it goes on for the rest of the day. I think about till tonight at midnight, I think, is when it ends. And there's a ton of deals out there. Stuff that I was telling the guys yesterday, you're looking on this stuff, you're like, how cheap are some of these things? Who makes this stuff? We like them cheap and stocking them deep. There's no doubt about that. From storages, when it comes to your computer, to cheap TVs, you're getting huge discounts. And I'm not going to lie, I ordered stuff yesterday because I like saving money. It's kind of the person I am. I don't know about you guys. Rough Greens, speaking of saving money, how about paying no money? How about trying something for free and all you have to do is pay for shipping? How about that? That's what Rough Greens is doing right now with the K9 VitaSmart. They ship it straight to your door. You pay for shipping. It is a supplement that goes on top of your dog's food. It's got vitamins, minerals. It's got vegetables. It's got nutrients. It's got digestive enzymes and probiotics and omega-3, 6, 9. It's got all these amazing things, and it brings your dog's food to life. That's awesome. That is incredible. It's made right here in the US of A. You're going to love, love, love what it can do for your dog. And if your dog is getting a little bit older, you're worried about joint pain, it has transformed my dog Doodle into a dog that I didn't think he was ever going to be again because he had such bad arthritic hips, and now he's living his best life. And his coat, it's like a puppy right now. He's so shiny and just soft. Try it for yourself. You pay for shipping. That's it. They're sending it to you for free. It's K9 VitaSmart from Rough Greens. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Roughgreens.com/Chad. We call 833-MY-DOG-77. 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Warning, no snowflake zone. Uninformed opinions are in danger of melting. The Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending.
What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending?
Let us take a look and see what's trending, shall we? Starting Twitter. It's just fun to watch people fight for no reason. I've never met you, yet I hate you. Kirsten Sinema, right here in Arizona, pens an opinion piece, the Washington Post, about her opposition to eliminate the Senate's 60-vote threshold, stating we have more to lose than to gain by ending the filibuster. Yeah. Aggressive financial strategy. Disney is pricing out most of its loyal fans. We're going to talk about this later, including some of the things they're looking at doing, which just seems crazy. But they're pretty popular, so I think they kind of know what they're doing, but maybe they're overreaching. I don't know. Washington Post has a really interesting look into the world of dead-end jobs. Yeah, dead-end jobs are available for everybody, but jobs what you make it in some cases. But more and more people are going to call this the summer of resignation. The summer of resignations. because so many people are going to be resigning. Head on over to Google Trends. Lord, trending big time today, as is Carl Nassib, linebacker for the Las Vegas Raiders. I was going to call them the LA Raiders. I was going to call them the Oakland Raiders, but now they're the Las Vegas Raiders. Came out yesterday as gay. Over 1 million searches. Dogecoin trending amid the crash in crypto. Yeah, it kind of... Why? I don't know. Because that's what you do now, right? Dogecoin. Here's the thing about so many of these things. It is still, one or two will emerge as the kings and queens of it. Like we kind of know Bitcoin. I don't know about Dogecoin, but I think Ethereum will eventually emerge as the things that people will use, and it'll be liquid enough to do things with. So many of these things, there's just no liquidity in them. And so when there's a little bit of movement, just a smidge in some of these things, you get wild swings just all over the place. And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. There's no doubt in my mind that eventually one of these will break out. And then you'll get more and more stuff like Elizabeth Warren, we really need to regulate these things. It's the whole point, Liz. There's no regulation. There's no regulation in the currency markets, by the way. So if you're playing in the currency market, there's no regulation. How do you regulate everybody's currency at once? There's not. There's an exchange, but the difference is the liquidity in some of those markets is so massive. So what the stock market does in a day, the currency market will do. I mean, and even in a month, the currency market will do in minutes or hours because so much is changing hands. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. I do find it interesting that the way that the Democrats want to kill the filibuster is becoming a bigger and bigger thing. And there are two people in the crosshairs. Two people. Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. Those two are in the crosshairs because they are the ones that are be seen as essentially slowing things down and upending all the things that the Democrats want to do. And that's a big thing for them right now is the filibuster.
All of this is reigniting that debate over whether Democrats should blow up the 60-vote threshold to break a legislative filibuster so they can pass laws like this. But moderates still insist that's just not going to happen.
And there's only really two moderates that are against this. Some will vote with it, even though they're probably against it. And the filibuster is so the party that's not in power has some power. So the party that's not in power can check. If you blow that filibuster up, if you say we're getting rid of it, right? That's the nuclear option. Remember, the nuclear option was only for the court. This would be the nuclear option number two, arguably a larger, bigger nuclear option. And if you're a Democrat who's on the fence as far as whether or not you're going to win your reelection, whether you're in the House or the Senate, because people don't understand the difference. The reality is the party in power always has a tough go in the midterms. But if they did something like this and blew up the filibuster, I can almost guarantee you to a person that next year it would flop. And you would have only about 15 months of time to do some stuff, and I think you'd find out that you would regret every second of it. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We got a ton of vaccines. I think you guys already know that. I'll just explain that to you. We also have choice in this country. And that also angers some people. Some places, well, they're just telling you, you know what? Get it or else.
President Duterte threatening to jail people who refuse to get their COVID shots. This comes as the Philippines battles one of Asia's worst outbreaks with over 1.3 million cases and more than 23,000 deaths. Duterte saying, quote, "You choose, vaccine or I will have you jailed." Duterte arguing he would be doing so to protect the people in light of the highly contagious Delta variant.
He's nuts. Like, if you don't live there, you're like, he's kind of fun. I'm sure people said that about Trump. He's interesting. So get it or else there. Here we give you options. You want to take it? Take it. If you don't, well, that's your thing. This is the way it should be. It should be. It's a you thing. It's great. I have always thought that's the way it should be. Some people, not so much. Some people don't quite get it. Was laughing earlier. This right here is hilarious. This is Joy Bear talking about a wedding and science.
Joy, how about you? Do you have any concerns on your part about going outside?
No. I do have concerns about going into situations where there are mobs of people, and I will not go there. I mean, I just had to turn down a family member's wedding because they're inviting 250 people. I can't do that. But on the other hand, I'm following the science, and I've been double vaxxed, and every doctor on television, on this show and others, tells you that if you get the double vaccine, you're pretty good with the variant, that you're not going to get it. And so what more do people have to hear? We'll never leave the house if we're going to continuously be afraid to go out.
Which she's absolutely right. Can I just say 110%? She's 100%, 10% right. But, this is what makes me laugh. You're using this to not go to a wedding you don't want to go to. Because if you really, really, honest to God, believe in the science, whoa. If you really believe that, then you would go to the wedding. You've been double vaxxed. You don't want to go to the wedding because you want people coming up to you. You don't want to go. You're using it. But don't tell me to believe in the science when the science said, if you've been double vaxxed, you're going to be all right. We're talking about Chris Paul, right? So arguably the best player that's remaining in the NBA championship. So the way that he's handled the Phoenix Suns. If you said the Phoenix Suns are the favorites to win the NBA championship this time last year, people are like, I don't know what he's smoking, but it's working. If delusional is what you were going for. But he has reshaped this team, and he's got COVID. So he's going to be out again today. I mean, when do we get to the point where it's like, dude, you got COVID, where you've got vaccination, everybody else got vaccines, or they don't. They've chosen not to. It's time to live your life. If somebody played sports with the flu, we'd be like, man, that guy's, well, look at him go, right? Like that guy's, oh my God, balls deep, man. Way to go, man. Right? Cojones. Playing with the flu. Like, we celebrated Michael Jordan playing with the flu game. Now it's like COVID's like, ooh. You just don't want to go to the wedding, Joy. Let's be real. You don't want to go to the wedding. You know it. I know it. We all know it. Don't tell me, though, science. It's one of those things. I'm listening to science, and science says if you got both your shots, the chance of you getting this is very, very small. So go live your life. Even if you're in a room full of people that you're related to that you don't like. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. The Defund the Police movement, which we all know is insane, right? Like, we can all get that. I've said since the beginning of this, you guys are pitching it wrong. You're pitching it. It's about reallocation of what's going on. Reallocating the money. Trying to reshape, reimagine policing, not defunding policing. But crime is out there, and it's going up. It's going up. Even CNN will admit going on.
The country really is opening up. But as that's happening, it is revealing kind of a nation that's very different than it was pre-pandemic. People's lives are different. The economy is different. Challenges are different. A surge in crime and gun violence gripping major cities. St. Louis, 7 people were shot, 3 killed in a shooting. Over the weekend, 10 mass shootings with 7 people killed and at least 45 injured.
There have actually been nearly 300 mass shootings so far this year. That is.
But all crime is up. You're talking about mass shootings, but all crime. Remember Atlanta? We're like, well, that's it. We're getting rid of it. We're getting rid of the police. We're doing it. We're going to do all these things because of what took place with George Floyd and all the stuff that's happened here. We're getting, instead of defunding, they've actually increased budgets. Cities that defunded the police because crime sucks. Crime does not make your city better. I don't know who thinks that. Look at Portland. Portland is a hot mess, JoJo. Look at Portland. Look what a hot mess it is. San Francisco. Steal what you want. We're not going to do anything to you unless you go past the threshold. What's the threshold? It's this. All right, I just wanted to know so I don't go past that. If you allow crime to continue, if defunding the police is the thing that you want to do, if you continue to say that all police are bad, if you continue to put that out there, what you're going to have are really awful situations where there is no economic growth. And without economic growth, that'll spur more crime, quality of life will go down, and that cheap house you've always wanted will be available.
I think that the biggest problem for the cities to bring people back and get the cities going again, I think the biggest problem is fear of crime.
That's absolutely right. It's quality of life. As you know, around the country, homicides, murders are up 25% last year. New York was up 40% and rising again this year. But it's not just the hideous ultimate crimes like that. It's the quality of life.
Yeah. It's not just about the heinous crimes. It's about the continual little things of death by 1,000 cuts. Go to big cities. There should be, of like the top 5 or 10 beautiful cities in the world, San Francisco should be right at the top. It's gross. It smells like piss. There's crap everywhere. Crime everywhere. Homelessness, drug abuse, all of those things. And it's just allowed to go on. It's just allowed to continue. And it is awful. Policies from Seattle to San Francisco to Portland to Los Angeles and big cities across the country, most of which lean where? To the left. It's not about trying to fix an issue. It's about essentially saying that they're all victims, and to even say or do anything to try to help them in a way that they feel is not nice is just evil and wrong.
The fact that people are doing bad things and the people know that they're not going to be punished, no bail, what happened in Washington Square where they arrest them and then release them, that's a formula for a disaster. And you only need a small number of people not to come back or choose not to move to the city, and you've got a crisis on your hand. As soon as you get any kind of slowdown, those city finances are going to be knocked through the roof.
Steve Forbes there, and he's right. Like a place like California is a perfect example where it is so top-heavy when it comes to taxes, meaning a small group of people essentially is the tax base. But they're leaving. Nobody wants, they love the weather. They love the fact that you're next to the beach. They're not really into the grossness of a lot of what's going on, and they're frustrated. They're frustrated. But the inner city, when I see stuff like this, it frustrates me because the whole thought process about the inner city, people of color. You want to bring investment? Nobody's investing in a place where it's crime-ridden. You want better schools? You're not going to get the tax revenue you need to generate enough money to build better schools. It is a vicious, vicious cycle. But for a lot of people, Democrats are like, yeah, we captured, base here. They're stuck here in this 20, 30, 40, 50 block area where rinse and repeat. And we'll just tell everybody it's the other old white guy over there that doesn't like you. That's the reason that this is a nightmare.
And yet you have the diktats telling police in some cities, don't chase, don't go after criminals on foot. In one city, they want to have you call a supervisor, a police officer, before you can give foot chase to a criminal or alleged criminal. This is just insane, and we're all going to pay a price for it.
And it's funny because a lot of those people who support some of those crazy policies are the first ones to bounce. Oh, I don't want to raise my kid here, but I don't want anything bad to happen to those people. Nobody wants anything bad to happen to people. But you never think about the innocent victims. Poor schools, poverty, no opportunity, a vicious cycle over and over, desperation, because you're trying to help a group of people that, quite frankly, in many cases, don't even want the help. And if you gave it to them, they wouldn't know what to do with it. And they'd take advantage of it until it went away, and they wouldn't care. You want to fix parts of this country in the inner city in particular that are struggling, especially disproportionately hurt when it comes to tax revenue, income, opportunities. Allowing stuff to happen like this isn't a winning solution. It isn't a winning solution. Cracking down on crime, especially serious violent crime, courting investment, getting it in there, giving kids the opportunity to have school choice. And if not that, then at least making sure their cities are safe, their areas are safe, and there's enough tax revenue that they can have good schools. Until then, keep enjoying what you're getting and keep voting the same people in over and over. And they're going, why isn't this changing? I don't know. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Raycons. Best earbuds around. So I went to buyraycon.com/Chad. Right now, and I can tell you the price. Let's just say it's huge. Discount. They got the red ones, earbuds. The white ones, earbuds. Black ones, earbuds. I think this is kind of like I don't even know what to call this color. It's just awesome. It's like this rose color. And they've got blue. All of them are amazing. Right now, 20% off. 20% off. 20% off. The best earbuds. 45-day test drive, 100% satisfaction guarantee, free shipping. Whether it's the E25s or the E55s, summer saving is going on right now. Take advantage of it. Buyraycon.com/Chad. No wires, no stems, and those carrying cases that you put your earbuds in. You charge those up. They're actually a charger. You don't have to have them plugged in anywhere. They'll give you 4 charges. You will absolutely love your earbuds. Don't waste your time anywhere else. Get the best in the business. It's Raycon. Buyraycon.com/Chad. 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 Chad Benson Show.
Serving up talk radio medium rare and dripping with irony. It's Chad Benson.
Would you like to read minds? $110 million startup has a helmet. It's going to cost you 50 G's that can apparently read minds. Ooh. Brian Johnson, not the singer of the amazing AC/DC, but the startup's founder, spent more than 5 years of his life, raised about $110 million. Half of it was his own money to develop the helmets. So I have no idea what this is going to do. So they said at a core element of Johnson's pitch is know thyself, a phrase that harks back to the ancient Greeks, underscoring how little we've learned about our brain since Plato. Colonel helmets, Kernel, are headed to brain research institutions. He would like to see these things out there by 2030 en masse, which will bring down the price of these things. He says not only is it going to help you, it's about reading your own minds in some ways, not so much putting people to the test, but helping you with mental illness. So we'll see how this thing goes. 50 grand's a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. to the whole mind thing sounds great. But we don't want to read our own mind. We want to read other people's minds. Don't tell me about that. How do I become Professor X? But with the walking part, how do I do that? Chad, that's not very nice. I know. Speaking of reading minds, I am reading people's minds. They're enjoying this, but other people are saying it's insane. It's skydiving, but with a twist.
Ryan Knopf spent his Wednesday doing something he loves, naked. To reach his goal of 60 jumps in 24 hours, he's got a lot of extra hands on deck. Volunteers who are flying 2 planes, repacking parachutes.
Time he loads the plane till the time he takes off and gets out of the airplane is about 5 minutes, and then it's about a 3-minute descent. So we're about 7 minutes there, and then he spends about 2 minutes on the ground, re-rigging and getting back in the plane for a total of 10 to 11 minutes per turn. So that puts us at about 6 jumps per hour.
Yeah. Naked skydiving, breaking the record of the naked skydiving. This is like when I listen to this, here's my thought process. All right, you're naked skydiving. My buddy Jason did it a few years ago. He would not recommend it. It's the amount of time you're on the ground and then re-rigging. That's the part where I'm like, because like for me, like tuna, like I told you guys yesterday, we're joking about Subway and is it tuna, isn't it tuna? I love tuna fish, which is weird because I hate fish, but I enjoy tuna fish. And I will make myself a tuna fish sandwich. I won't eat it if somebody else makes it. I have to see myself make it. I don't know why. I think it would be the same thing for me if I was a skydiver. I need to know who packed it in such a way. Like, I couldn't just have 5 or 6 people on the ground that I really wasn't familiar with packing my stuff, even if they're... I need to see it. I need to do it. There's just something about that. Especially if I'm falling to the ground. And the last thing I want to do is fall to the ground naked and the parachute doesn't open. Talk about a double embarrassment. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. I've got my movie trailer voice. Rated R. Chad's rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent. It is fun, though, having this voice. I wouldn't want it forever, but today it's kind of sexy. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Hope all is well on this beautiful Tuesday. It all changed yesterday. One fell swoop. Everything changed. The NCAA was caught out. The NCAA, the gig is up. They're done. It's over. It's over. You're a multi-billion-dollar industry, and you're a monopoly. And it is over now. The system is changing. The 9-0 decision, they basically looked at the NCAA, the SCOTUS, and said, what are you guys doing? Like, there's no other form of business that could operate this way legally, and you somehow think that you can. You're done.
This is a very much an archaic system that's been in place that is able to capitalize among free labor, predominantly people of color.
Jay Williams, who was just here, actually. I just saw him like 2 minutes ago. He was just wandering around. That's the beauty of where I get to work. By the way, that's not true. I'm going to give you guys the breakout demographics of I like above board honesty. This comes from NCAA.org. And by the way, anytime it's a .org, be suspicious. 2020. Almost 60% of athletes were white, 21% were black, 5% Hispanic, 5% two or more races, non-resident alien. It was a small, itty-bitty group. So that's not true. But one thing is true. It had to change. The system itself had to change. For years, the NCAA has made tons of money and then always said it's about the student athlete.
It hasn't been about education. It's been about competing at the highest level. And when you start looking at some of the top tier college coaches, I can make an argument that 4 or 5 of them would be some of the top highest paid NBA coaches.
Yeah. So you're at a point now where you've got guys who are making $6 to $10 million a year as coaches. Kids are making nothing. Well, they're getting a free education. Again, I go back to they're getting a free education, yes, based on their skills and ability, yes. At the same time, other kids get free education based on their skills and ability in the classroom, right, with music instruments and any of those things, and they could profit in other ways off those talents along the way where these kids weren't allowed to. And their whole thought process was, well, it's about keeping the amateur status. Nah. No, it wasn't. It was about keeping your cheap labor. And I don't think we should pay them one bit. I don't think we need to. Give them a stipend if you want, but the reality is it's, to me, it's more important about their likeness, controlling your likeness. When Ed O'Bannon sued all those years ago, well, wait a minute here. You put me on the cover of the NCAA basketball video game, and I don't get a penny for that? That's my likeness? I don't get a penny for that? No. Once he took him on, everybody else followed suit. And the thought process was this year was going to change everything because the lawsuits had come in. They were starting to lose. And now, based on this, they're going to lose left, right, and center. The thought process is they were going to decide each state, you guys can do your own thing. But you can't do that. There can't be that. Because what if California says, all right, you guys can do all this and you can make a ton of money and do all those things. And then another state says, well, we're not going to allow you to do those things. Well, where do you think the best athletes are going to go? So you're going to have really an unbalanced playing field. They're going to go to Congress. They're going to tell their friends, please help us. Please. Because Congress has protected them for years. The jig is up. You've got to pay up. And by that, allow kids to earn off their likeness. Allow kids to have a seat at the table, especially these young men and women who are out there busting their butt, working extra hard. I mean, if you got a YouTube channel, like I follow these guys, these golf kids, right? They're called Good. GM Golf's a kid named Garrett Clark. Put this thing together. They're hilarious. They're fun. They go out in the golf. They do all these crazy stunts, and they're really talented. He was going to college, and the college basically said to him, you've got to make a decision. Either you keep your YouTube channel or you stop doing it and only do this. And his parents and him sat down, and they said, no, I'm going to keep my YouTube channel. That's stupid. That is stupid. Well, people, they're going to be able to pay players, and there's going to be all, because back in the day, there was, like you'd work at a dealership, right? So you go to Alabama, and the guy that threw the most money at the school was the big car dealership in town, right? In Tuscaloosa. I'm Big Jim Ford, and I'm going to give you all. And he would hire these kids, and they would have no-show jobs, and they get fired. Those days, that stuff, the $100 handshakes and stuff like that. Come on. These kids want a chance to go to Vegas and sign autographs for a weekend and get $25K. What's it hurt you? Well, at some point in time, you knew it was going to come.
We can refer to it as a business model, but the main participants, the players, aren't allowed to participate in the business model.
Jay Will's right. We've got several interns here. Some of them are on scholarship going to Cronkite, ASU, one of the best journalism schools in the country. We have to pay them. Oh, well, that's weird. Exactly. It was stupid. It was archaic because the money there was so massive and they didn't have to share it. Hell, kids aren't even asking you to share that piece of the pie. They're just asking you to say, hey, if I go over here and I sign an autograph for $10,000 and a bunch of basketball cards or whatever, let me keep it and don't tell me I can't play anymore. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Coffee is good for you. Right now I have a little iced tea.
A study out of the United Kingdom finds coffee drinkers are 21% less likely to develop chronic liver disease, 20% less likely to develop fatty liver disease, and 49% less likely to die from chronic liver disease than non-coffee drinkers. The study says the kind of coffee, espresso, regular, or decaf, didn't matter, although ground has the maximum benefit. The data was collected from 2006 to 2010 with a follow-up. Authors caution that lifestyle choices also matter, and there's no absolute that coffee can protect against liver disease, but it might reduce the risk.
Yeah. Now, how much do you have to drink? They're saying 3 to 4 cups a day. And it doesn't matter, again, if it's decaf, half calf, no calf, full calf, 3 to 4 cups. Apparently tea can have some of the same effects, because I looked it up, because I drink iced tea. I don't like coffee. It's never liked the taste. I always thought it was weird to have coffee as ice cream, too. Like, you don't have iced tea ice cream, do you? I don't think you do. It's iced tea ice cream. No, it's not. It's gross. But this is huge for a lot of people. They're like, oh, my God, I drink it. But then they said lifestyle choices, right? Lifestyle choices. So if you go home tonight and you drink your liver into a position where it is doubled over in your body, no matter how much coffee you drink, it's probably not a good thing. Like everything, it's always about moderation and choices. Choose right, do it more often than you do the bad, you're probably going to be okay.
This study was based on observation, association, not cause and effect, although there are theories. And listen, for some people, coffee can absolutely cause jitteriness, insomnia. It can be a bad thing, but the overwhelming data and evidence support the health benefits, which is good news for me and for those people who are drinking any type of coffee.
Starbucks is probably putting this story everywhere. Look at that, guys. We're going to help prevent liver disease. See what you guys are doing here? You're doing good. You're doing the Lord's work. You're doing the Lord's work. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. If my dog Doodle could talk, hello there, that's what he would sound like. I'm asking you a question. Can I get some more of the rough greens? It's a little English guy. Rough Greens has changed his life. It's K9 VitaSmart. It's a supplement. It's got vitamins, minerals, probiotics, digestive enzymes. It's all this amazing stuff. I sprinkle on top of my dog's food. It's brought his food to life. I give it to my mom because my mom's got big dogs, right? Like the kind where the jockey fell off. Like, hey, where's the jockey? Huge dogs. It's helping them, especially with joint pain. And that to me is the biggest thing, because more often than not, as dogs age in particular, the joint pain really gets to them first. And you could see that coming. My dog Doodle, his life has changed. His arthritic hips, you wouldn't even know he's got those. He's got a coat that is shinier and softer than he ever had. And I'm loving every second of the fact that he's still here. Right now, Rough Greens wants you to try it before you buy it. It's simple and easy. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. You go there. You pay for the shipping. They're going to give you a bag absolutely free. It's not going to cost you a penny. It's Rough Greens. RuffGreens.com/Chat. It's that simple, right? You know, RUFF Greens. Or call 833-MY-DOG-77. I'm telling you guys, put them to the test. You pay for shipping, a bag for free. You're not going to get a deal any better than this. Ruff Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, where we reach across the aisle and occasionally poke someone in the eye.
So, it's Amazon Prime Day. It's your last chance to buy cheap goods at a price that's virtually nothing. So I'll let you guys know that. Why would you talk about it? Because it's awesome. I can always go back. Unlike other people, I'm always in amazement of the brilliance of the world that we live in. I love it. I love it. I love capitalism. I love the way that it is supplied all the amazing things that we have. Who's that? Because capitalism, not corporatism, right? The pretend capitalism where realistically they just go and they wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and government gets involved in some way, shape, or form by crushing other people to make sure that people can't come into this space. I'm talking about real live capitalism because opportunities to do things. It's amazing. We need more of it, not less of it. I think government should be more involved in everything. No. I think we have a okay mixture now, but I like the fact that we should keep hands length, right? Like a little arm's length. Like people with cystic fibrosis can't get within, 5 feet of each other, 6 feet of each other? Maybe that's the way it should be. Because when corporations and politics get together in such a way, it always worries me, because what usually means is somebody is going to come out and say, we're doing this because we want to talk about all of these amazing things that are going to give us more competition. All of these things are going to set rules and be better for the public. But realistically, at the end of the day, all they're really going to do is hurt competition and not help the public. It's what you go back and you look at time and look through history and you see what capitalism has brought us from 95% of people being farmers in the 1800s and early 1900s to people starting to realize through the evils of the robber barons the absolute brilliance of capitalism and how the robber barons weren't really robbing the way that people thought and giving people opportunity to get away from things like being a dirt farmer making no money. Now we have the Great War. It's the class, right? It's like the rich, the poor, the rich, the poor. How are we going to pay for stuff? Tax the rich, tax the poor. They don't pay their fair share. They don't pay their fair share. They're evil. They're bad.
President Biden wants to pay all those new road, rail, and broadband construction bills by taxing companies and the rich. Republicans want to raise taxes at the pump.
The president's pledge was not to raise taxes on Americans making less than $400,000 a year. And the proposed gas tax or vehicle mileage tax would do exactly that.
Spokesperson Jen Psaki saying both sides will keep talking this week. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
The gas tax, people are going to be traveling less, so I don't know if that's going to help. And taxing the rich, as we've seen, it's you're barking up a tree that you're not going to get the things that you think you're going to get out them. And the wealth tax, all of that stuff. We need to fix the codes in the world of taxes, but at the same time, going after one or two people, which is what they want, is the unintended consequences will be that trickle-down effect is going to hurt a lot of other people. People keep saying to me, Chad, I think the way to do it is we just tax their wealth when it comes to, they've gone from 20 billion to 70 billion. We should tax that 50 billion. I'm like, you can't. Why can't we? Because it's not realized gain. They haven't gained anything. Your net worth, like if your house, again, I'm going to go over the simple and easy. If your house is worth $100,000, that's what you paid for it, and now it's worth $500,000. Have you made any money? On paper you have, but in your bank account, no, you haven't. You made a penny. Until you realize that, meaning you sell your house and then you take that money that you've made. Otherwise, it's just on paper. If you do that to the rich, the ultra rich, the uber wealthy, what you're going to find is they're going to move money in ways really quick that you're not going to see. Secondly, everybody's going to end up being held accountable in the same way. So people are going to be and what happens if tomorrow you're worth $70 billion today and it collapses to zero? There's ways of doing it, but this is a great fight. Because at the end of the battles, the screaming, the yelling, all of the stuff, and that you're bad, you're evil, all that truly matters is they can go back to their donors and their constituents said, I'm fighting hard for you. Send me some more money. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program, Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Sarah, how are you navigating the new world?
I'm kind of like
post-vaccination.
I'm kind of like Joy. It's like you have people that don't want to leave from the safety and security and people that can't stay any longer and getting out in the world. I wear my mask. I don't go toward crowds, but when I'm in public, like grocery stores and stuff. But then when I'm outdoors, I feel totally comfortable without my mask. But now, like, I can't tell what is comfortable or not.
What are you talking about? What the hell is wrong with people? It's how easy it is to get people to just, totally. I don't know what to do, but now I'm outdoors. It's nothing wrong. Wear a mask if you want to. Don't wear a mask. But if you're going to tell me to believe in the science, you've gotten a shot, then you got another shot, you're going to be fine. But what if people judge me? What then?
We were at a farmer's market this weekend, and Max and I had our masks off. And then I put mine on like this. And Max is like, why are you doing that? I was like, because I can't tell what other people are comfortable with. A lot of people still had masks on and masks off. So I do this halvesy thing when I'm in doubt. And I just walk around like, you good? Because like if someone has theirs all masked up, I adapt even outside for them if I'm in, talking with them. And so it's just that this unknown period is almost trickier than when we had real rules.
That's like, what do you even say to that? Like, this is trickier when everybody just, everybody just tell me what to do. No, it's just, I wear it half on and half off. Oh, that's good. That protects nobody. Like, hey, wear your, if you really think masks are that amazing and they're going to protect you from everything. That's like wearing your, like, I wear my seatbelt over my shoulder, but I don't actually buckle it in. That is just the dumbest thing. And that's the world we live in right now. The world we live in is that kind of stupidity where people are out there. Like, I was looking around and I was worried what people were going to think of me. So I kind of put it on, like around my chin, as a just in case. Because then I want them to think better of me than if I was just one of these people flaunting the fact that I have been vaccinated. You had a farmer's market. I'm pretty sure everybody there has been vaccinated, but a few who believe that you're going to get autism. I've always wondered, like, is that only for kids? The autism? Like, if you hit a certain age and you get vaccinated, does that go away? Because, like, that would be the most telling thing, right? Like, Steve's 23 years old, and he gets vaccinated for stuff that he never had before. The measles, mumps, rubella. I don't even know what we're doing. Whatever thing that they're doing now. Consumption. Where are you going? Down to the apothecary. I don't want to get the consumption. And if he's totally normal and then you give him a shot and like 3 months later, he's just like, he wants to go to Target all day and he can count cards. He's really good at math, but he won't look you in the eyes anymore. Well, then maybe you're like, there's something to this. There's something to it. Or is it just children? I'm curious. Like I've always wondered that whole thing with the people that are about, if you give it to the kids, you're going to get. And I know now with this, it's like, if you take this, you're going to turn into a houseplant, or you're going to be mind controlled by the government, or you're going to die suddenly. Yeah, that's not happening so far. Still waiting for that. Still am. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Welp, finally, got a gay player in the NFL that's actually playing. Oh no. Yeah, we've got a player in the NFL that is playing who happens to be gay, and he's playing. All right? He's playing. Michael Sam never really played. He had a cup of coffee, if you will, as they would say. Was in some training camps, but he never really played. Carl Nassib will play.
What's up, people? I'm Carl Nassib. I'm at my house here in Westchester, Pennsylvania. Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important, and I'm really pumped to see what the future holds. That's all I have for you guys.
Yeah. He's gay. So I posted something yesterday about this, right? Because, first of all, because I just think it's interesting, because I said, I don't care. Like, I don't care if you're gay. Here's my care. Can you do the job? And if you can't do the job well, and you get let go, it's not because you're gay. It's because you couldn't do the job. I think it was Jerry Glanville says, you know what the NFL stands for? Not for long. They're about winning. So, of course, you get the usual people that come out and attack, right? Like, they just got to go. One person says, let me make sure that we elevate and celebrate sinful behavior, making sure that we continue to degrade and demean good men and women who live according to God's word, mocking them and calling for their silence. Well, I'm a believer in God, and I'm not mocking anybody. And sinful behavior, I'm a sinner. It's like, I don't know if you're aware of this. Like, yeah, like, you know, and that's the stuff right there. It's the moral side of things. It's like, you don't get to set the rules. You want to. Well, this is God's word. Try to live by it. Like he already knew. He's like, I'm going to give you guys this, but there's a good chance. Look, just keep it, just the 10 commandments. There's 611 other ones, but just 10, because I just don't think they're sharp. Right? So it's like, God's like Prince. He's got a whole room of stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I got all kinds of commandments ready. Yeah, I did them all in my younger days when I was rocking out. I put them together really quick. It's funny though, because that's right there where like people are like, that's why I don't like church. That's why I don't like organized religion. That's why. God hates the gays. Does he? Did he tell you that? Are you like on super first name basis with him? Where it's like, hey Tim, hey Sarah, deliver my message about how much I hate the gays and everybody else that doesn't agree with me. Yeah, deliver that message. You can also judge them if you want. I've given you that power. Settle down. The question is simple. Can you play the game? He can play the game. Signed a contract last year, 3 years, $25 million with the Raiders, had a pretty good year last year. That should be the only thing that matters at the end of the day. In the meritocracy world, that we should only care about your productivity. Now, there's a lot that goes into a locker room. I'm not going to deny that. I played sports at a pretty high level, and the locker rooms at times can be fragile. But I think we're past that point now. I think we're past that point where we're worried about, because everybody knows there's a gay player or two. Like, if you play in the NFL or any sports for a very long time at a high level, it's probably a gay player or two. It's not a big deal. Never was. For a lot of people, it was. Like, somehow they were going to, like, oh my gosh, he turned me gay. He did. It was magic powers, right? She wasn't a lesbian, but now she's a lesbian. Like, that's no. Everybody's known, but nowadays it's different, right? Because nowadays it's more open to talk to. This isn't like Stonewall days. This isn't one of those things. It should only matter what the color of your skin is. No. Who you love, no. Who you worship, no. Who you identify, no. It matters simply this. Can you do the job in front of you? The job in front of you, whatever it is, either getting to the quarterback, knocking down passes, stopping the run, being a lawyer, being a doctor. Can you do the job in front of you? That should be the thing that matters. That should be the thing that we should be looking at. It should be a meritocracy, right? Politics gets involved in some things. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, your talent should shine above everything else. And if you could do the job at hand, I don't think people care.
He's going to make it easier. And I want to be clear about this. It's not just that he's done this. Other athletes, maybe even players who are in the league already, they're not just going to be watching and listening to what Carl said and how it's covered. They're going to be watching how everyone responds. And that's why I feel it's so important for his teammates, as it sounds like they've done, and other NFL players to get behind him because, people are watching and people are listening, and acceptance, it sounds like, the acceptance he's gotten so far, it's going to be what enables other athletes to come out in the future.
And I think there'll be some and some won't. But at the end of the day, I'm a guy that believes talent should win out above everything else. The best person gets the job done is the person who should get the job. That's it, regardless of anything else. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm too pie in the sky. Or maybe I'm just a person who's like, you know what? I have a business to run. And if you guys can do the job, you can do the job. If everybody happens to be black, they happen to be black. If they happen to be Hispanic, they happen to be Hispanic. If they happen to be non-binary, whatever, I don't even know what to say, whatever, gender normative, then that's fine. But the job is there. You get it done. And don't cause trouble either. That's the other thing. Don't cause me any trouble. Right? You being gay, as long as you're not causing trouble. If, like, you're out shoot up a nightclub, people are like, well, can't go after him. He's gay. Well, he shot up a nightclub. No. This is the playing field that we want to be on, which is a level playing field. That should be the thing that matters. Get the job done. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. My Pillow gets the job done. Helps you sleep at night. Ding! Machine washable and dryable. Ding! 60-day money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty. Ding! Made in the USA. Ding, 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 ding. That's what I love about My Pillow. The new queen-size premium My Pillow, $29.98, $40 off. On top of that, $5 more, you get you the king size. Best deal ever at a price that's amazing. So what are you waiting for? Get yours now. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. Take advantage of deep discounts on everything from the mattress toppers, the My Slippers, the Giza Dream Sheets, the towels, you name it. Huge, 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 huge discounts. And did I mention made in the USA? Gotta love that. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. $29.98 for the MyPillow, queen size, $5 more, get you the king. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
I can't take it anymore!
Well, get over it. It's time to forge a new path with your very own political cartographer, Chad.
Life finds a way.
Check Netflix today and you won't find that many Steven Spielberg films, but that's about to change. The filmmaker's legendary Amblin production company has just struck a deal with the streaming giant to create what's said to be multiple feature films per year. Those will be in addition to the theatrical releases Amblin produces as part of its ongoing deal with Universal Studios. The partnership is one of the strongest signs to date of the continued ascendancy of streaming media in Hollywood.
Yeah, if you're thinking it's summer but it feels chilly, it's because Spielberg said when hell freezes over when it comes to streaming. Well, hell is frozen over. Let me tell you what breaks the binds of hell. You guys want to know? Money. Eventually, so much of it comes to you like, I got to do this. And the other side of it, if for an artist, especially directors and producers, so we have friends that they got shows on Netflix. We're pitching a couple right now, my uncle and I, and we talk about this. Netflix isn't like, when you go to corporate world like CBS, NBC, go all these things, it's a different world, right? Like there's ways they do things. They've always done things certain ways. There's things that you do and you have to follow these things. And it's about, I'm going to take this and I'm going to, show it to a group over here of people who are willing to sit through your pilot or whatever, and they're going to tell you things they like and hate about it, and it's always about all these weird... Netflix is like, all right, we signed you. Here's $300 million. Go make a bunch of movies or television shows or whatever, and we're not going to get in your way. So for artists, they love it. The money's big, too. They're pouring tons of money. Amazon's getting in. Amazon bought... Was it MGM a couple weeks ago for like $8.5 billion? They are loaded for bear when it comes to getting in this platform and actually being a part of it. The money is big, but so for so many artists is the freedom to know that you're not going to have a bunch of studio executives who are running around who would have loved to have been creative, but instead they're accountants and lawyers, and they're going to be on your butt every day talking about things that they think you should do with the show. Worried more about the Q score, which is your likeness, than whether or not you have a good product. And we've seen that because they went over woke in some of these things. One of the things we were told at Netflix is we don't want woke. We tried it, didn't work. It's in front of the world, you talk about it, but the reality is what we need is entertainment. And if you could be entertaining, they're listening. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. In the world of bad ideas, this to me screams to be the worst.
Joby Aviation, a California-based startup, now says its all-electric air taxi will be ready for use in Los Angeles by 2024. The company says its air taxi can travel 150 miles on a single charge, transporting passengers above all those traffic jams below, while reaching up to 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's a no. I'm just going to throw that out there. That is a negative Ghost Rider on that. So wait, we're going to crash on top of you now?
We've been able to build a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, which is safer, which is more than 100 times quieter, and which is many times lower cost to operate. And that is a game changer.
I mean, it sounds great. Like we've thought about that. Like, when are we going to be the Jetsons? Like, when are we going to be the Jetsons where we're flying around and we're going to do all the... When is that going to happen? But then when you start to realize, oh my God, no, I know my neighbors. They can't drive. I don't think this should happen because eventually they're going to have regular cars. Low noise. That sounds great. Who's flying these things? Uber in the air is not what we're looking for. Wouldn't it be neat? But then I think all we're going to do is crash into each other in the middle of the air. And we have where are we going to put stuff? Right? Like, where are we going to have lanes? I don't think so. It just feels like a disaster. I would like to think that would happen. That would be great, but 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Have a great day. Go get yourself some tacos. We'll do it again tomorrow. Night, Jack.
Chad Benson Show.